Okay, right, hello and welcome. So first of all, my name's Vicky Jenkins. I'm a teacher for Turniton. I was a school class teacher and now through Turniton go into schools and teach computing. I also go into schools and train teachers and also now doing online training as well. And I also do sort of strategic curriculum plans and things. So today we're looking at Google Meet and what that does really. So first of all, when you're greeted, this is the screen you see. So I'm going to go through everything you can see on the screen first. In fact, before that, sorry, I'm just going to go up here and just highlight this website, teachfromanywhere.google. If you get stuck at any point, this is a really good place to go to just as a starting point to help you. I'll put that in the chat so you can see it. Just recommend it. It's got loads of, they're really short tutorials. So if you get stuck on something, normally you should be able to find the answer on here, but there's all sorts there. So it's just a really quick place to look if you are stuck or just need a refresh on anything. Okay, with Google, you can use it on any device. So you can use it on laptops, Chromebooks, MacBooks, iPads, phones, anything. And most of the different aspects of Google are available on different apps as well as using browsers. So you've got loads of options there. Okay, so Google Meet. You can find it by meet.google.com, or you can create a Meet in your calendar, or if you go into your 9 dots, you can go into Meet that way as well. Okay, and I'll go through each of those options in a moment. Okay, so down on this corner here, you have your Meet details. So if you need to send that link to anyone, it's there. But you also, if you want to add attachments that you can all work on, so maybe you want to add a Google Calendar, in your Google Calendar when you set up the Meet, if you want to add an agenda or if you want to add something that you want staff to be able to go through or for you all to work through during the meeting, you can add those here. Down here, you've got options of turning off your microphone, turning off your camera, or leaving the call. So obviously we're not going to do any of those right now. It's quite useful though if you are going to a training, or sometimes if I'm in a big group meeting, I quite often will mute my microphone if lots of people are talking and I don't need to, or if someone's presenting like I am, you might mute your microphone so that it's not so distracting. You can also turn on captions so that you can see what the person is saying as they are talking. Okay, I think if I wiggle my mouse up here, it should show my captions in a moment. There we go. So as you're talking, it does subtitles for you. I have a feeling in Google settings, you can set it so you can have it almost as a translator, which is a really key thing. If for any reason we go into any form of lockdown again, or you're needing to present to pupils, do a meet with pupils that may, or parents that don't speak English as a first language, that might be something to consider. You also have here the You Are Presenting screen. I've got mine as You Are Presenting. I can't show you, unfortunately, the other bit because it would stop the presentation and you won't see it. But I have the option to present just a window, just an internet tab, or the whole screen. Now, I have found it more productive to do the whole screen. I've just found I flick between windows and things, and it seems to be a lot smoother with me presenting the whole screen. However, at this point, it would be worth, in terms of e-safety and GDPR, to point out that if you are sharing your whole screen, be careful in terms of having calendars open, having emails open that other people can see. So just trying to make sure that's not visible. Okay, up here, you've got who's in the meeting. So for here, I actually end up with 2 because I've got myself and the presentation and then yourself. You can also here have a chat going on. Oh, sorry, in people as well. What you can do, obviously I'm not going to right now. So you can, if you are having a class meeting and someone is not muting themselves when you need them to, you can mute them. You can also remove them from the meeting. That's more so if you are running a class meet, you might want to leave yourself. Maybe the pupils left it on and you need to leave. You can remove them from the meeting so that when you leave, they can't come back into the meeting room. As I was saying, there's chat here, so you can communicate here. If you have any questions, do put them in here as well, and I can work on them. You've also got some more options down here. Okay, this is a new one, so I'm going to open this for a minute. So I actually have, this is new to me as well. So here you've got a communal whiteboard where you can all communicate together, and you can, as it says, open a jam, so you can all communicate and write together, add pictures. So this is quite good if you're doing a project plan for you all to work together. And now that's gone into my attachments, so with the meeting. Okay, you can also down here, you can change the layout. So you can decide what you want your layout to look like. So this is sort of more like the Zoom calls where you have everybody visible. I tend to prefer the sideboard, but only because sidebar because I'm presenting, so I like to keep it all on the side. But you can change it to what you would prefer. And it is a personal preference. Okay. And again, this is quite new. This is you could do this in Microsoft, but you can do a background blur. So actually, I don't know if it's if I just put myself on the main screen, I'll be able to see. Yeah, so now I've blurred my background. That's quite a nice effect, particularly if you are in somewhere where if you're somewhere meeting that you don't want everyone to see the background, particularly in your house or something and you're doing a meeting, it means you can sort of blur what everybody can see. So there's your captions and settings. You can also use a phone for audio. So there is a phone number for your meeting. So people can dial in with a PIN, and there's a PIN code if they do not have access to a computer with a camera. Okay, and then here you've just got sort of report a problem, report online abuse, or any help options. Oh, and the last one on this bit here, I missed as well, is where it says stop recording. You can choose to start recording. So once you start recording, your which I have done, your audio, your whole Google Meet will record. It will then be stored in your Google Drive when you finish the recording. So that is a whistle stop of the main Google Meet page. I'm now just going to go over to the calendar to show you setting up a Meet. Okay, so again, I've got to the calendar by calendar.google.com, but I can also get to it by choosing the 9 dots and choosing calendar. These 9 dots, you can rearrange everything in there to use the things you use the most. Okay, so we're on calendar. And what I can do here is I can go to choose a meeting. And I can say that it's going to be in a phase meeting tomorrow at 11. Okay, and so I can add guests here. And then I can select add Google Meet video conferencing. Okay, And here, if you've got more than one calendar, so I've got my classroom here, you can choose if your class is invited. So you'd add any email addresses of people that you want to join, and then you click save. Okay, so there's my meeting. When I click on it, I can click join Google Meet and it will take me to the lobby of the meeting. Okay, only the organizer of the meeting can go into the main meeting, and then they accept everybody that comes in, and they make a doorbell sound when they're waiting to come in. So in terms of if you're meeting with parents or if you're meeting with pupils, because you've created the meeting, you are in control of who joins, who leaves, and everything like that. Okay. You can also, with Google Meet, you can make appointment slots. So we could say 10 minutes long staff well-being. Probably want more than 10 minutes per staff member, but you could then say that that's there, and it's sort of a pop-in option, so you can add more options. You can add guests. Once you've saved it, you get an appointment page, which you can then share this link with whoever you're wanting to join, and they can log on and they can book an appointment slot. And that slot, once it's been booked, can't be booked out by anybody else. And then you'd be able to join that. So there's my first one booked in, and you'd be able to join that meeting in the same way. Okay, so you've got a couple of different options there with your Google Meets. Lastly, I'm just going to go through some of the sort of e-safety etiquette kind of things with using Google Meet. So we tend to recommend that if you're meeting with a class as opposed to parents or staff, we do recommend that you don't have webcams on. Unfortunately, it's not a thing you can enforce in terms of you can't, as I was showing, I can turn someone's can't unmute you, but I can mute somebody's microphone, but you can't turn their camera off, unfortunately. The reason we suggest that if you're meeting with pupils, their cameras are off is because you can't guarantee nothing's happening in their house that you don't want the rest of the class to see. So I don't know, somebody coming out the shower, or inappropriate TV on, or even just the parents having an argument in the background. You don't know what's going on, and it's the safeguarding element that you're just sort of saving yourselves from, really, and just protecting yourselves. It is down to the school's prerogative, though. I have had some schools complain that they actually think their pupils should see each other. I do understand that, but you have to say you use your own school's viewpoint. I would also recommend, if you are having a meeting, it's really worth recording for many reasons. If it's an SLT meeting, maybe you're recording it just so you've got the minutes. If you are doing with your class, you're just covering yourself again, safeguarding wise. You've recorded the meeting, you've got evidence that nothing untoward happened, or if something did happen, you've also, how you dealt with it is recorded. The other thing we do recommend is that you wouldn't be the only, if at all possible, you're not the only adult in the meeting. Again, just covering yourselves. In terms of when you create a meet with a class, when you go into meet, the teacher is in control of the meeting. If they empty the classroom and close the meeting, pupils cannot join again without the teacher allowing them. So you don't have the risk of the teacher going and everyone still having their meeting, all the kids that are still messing around or finding it funny to video call each other. That isn't enabled for pupils. And that's down to the DfE setup. That is the main gist of Google Meets. It's not a huge training because there isn't it's very simple, and the more you use it, the more familiar you'll become. However, if you do have any questions, please put them in the chat and I'm happy to answer them. Okay, well, thank you very much for coming. I'll hang around in case you still do have any questions, but thank you for coming.